Hey guys, my paper is entitled Welcome to Delicious, What Makes Culver's Frozen Custard So Successful? And basically what I wanted to talk about was what makes the franchise so successful. Unfortunately, there was a dearth of material for me to work with. Culver Franchise Systems Inc. Doesn't have a company historian, nor do they have an archive. So there wasn't really any documents that I could use at the store or company to work with. So basically, I had to rely on newspaper articles and trade magazines for my information. And lucky enough, I was able to find some information. And of course, one of the other reasons why I chose Culver's Frozen Custard uh, is the fact that I actually worked at the franchise company back in I believe late 1999, early 2000. I worked as a temp at the company, so I actually know Craig Culver and Lee Culver and Craig's parents, George and Ruth Culver. So I guess maybe it's part nostalgia that I decided to actually write this paper uh, because I actually worked for them at one time, and so I actually kind of have some inside knowledge of the how the company works and as far as how the franchise system works there. Uh, so in a way that kind of helped me out as in writing the paper. Uh, as far as what actually I considered what makes them successful, well, part of it's training. Uh, the the franchise office trains all the franchisees. They have actually what I would call a hell week. It's a 60-hour work week, and what they do is people who are interested in buying a franchise, they actually come to the headquarters and they work 60 hours, or they actually work at a Culver's Frozen Custard, and they work 60 hours and they get an idea of what an owner operator has to do, and they get an idea of how to manage uh, a restaurant. They learn, you know, like maybe some of the back line. They might learn some of the front and stuff like that. It's just a basic idea of what you have to do. And after that 60 weeks, they asked whoever wants to stay will stay, and then basically it's a way of weeding out those who they don't think will be successful, or they won't be able to handle owning a restaurant or working at a restaurant. And after that week, you might sign your franchise agreement, or you sign the training or whatever you have to do, and then you actually do the actual training for owning a Culver's, and that's actually a 16-week training period. So for 16 weeks, you learn everything that you need to know as far as running a Culver's, and the franchise headquarters actually has a test kitchen, and so they do a lot of the training at the test kitchen, where you learn how to do the burgers, uh, learn how to put together the custard machine, and stuff like that. And after the 16 weeks, then you open your store, and you might even go on with maybe some further advisement or training, which I'm not sure, but that's what I believe, because I'm sure that it's still a process even when you open your store. And of course, it takes time to open the store, because usually they build a building for you. So you actually have to purchase the land, they build a building, and they also I believe they put in all the uh, appliances and things that you need as well. And also, in addition to that, is the fact that Culver's is not a cheap um, franchise to get into. It's very pricey. Uh, I've read you need between $2 to maybe a little bit over $5 million to open a Culver's. So it's not cheap. And the franchise fee is around $55,000, and then the royalty fees that you have to pay per month is usually 2% of your gross sales, and you also put in 2% contribution for advertising fund. And so the fact that it is expensive, it usually attracts people who are hardworking, and you know that they're going to be successful. And Craig Culver actually personally chooses the franchisees. So it's not where you just simply slap money down and, oh, I'm now a new business owner. It doesn't work that way. You have to be dedicated, and you have to be committed. And that's part of the reasons why Culver's is successful, or as a franchise it's successful, because it is expensive and it's costly. And also, one of my other conclusions is the fact that, well, actually I missed it in haste, but they actually have a group of people that actually go, they're assigned the territory. I'm not going to say the exact title because I'm sure that they might frown upon me on saying it, but they actually help the franchisees when they're running their business. And that's also another thing too, is the fact that the corporation is actually interested in your success, and they will call you and ask, how things are going. Is there anything they can do to help you? And one of the other things I thought also that proved their success is the culture that's at Culver's. They have something which I actually call the fish philosophy, because it's based on a book that's called Fish, and it's a fictional story, but it's actually based on a real company. The real company is actually called Pike Place Fish Market, and it's very famous in Seattle. You can actually visit it, and it's a place known for the workers to actually have fun at what they're doing. And you can see that they're having fun because they're tossing fish around. People are the workers are catching them, some of them with one hand. They'll say, oh, a salmon flying off to Minneapolis or something like that, and one person will say it, and then everyone else in the company that's working around will actually say it as well. So they're having fun, and basically that's the whole idea of how to improve morale at your workplace. You choose your attitude, and you make work fun. And that's part of the culture at Culver's, is that they want people to have fun at work, but of course be serious when you're doing it, but still have fun and service with a smile, and the customers will have a very good experience there. In fact, they actually call their customers guests. And that's part of the culture too, is that you treat your customers like you treat a guest at home. And so that's part of it as well. And I guess the last thing I'll mention is the menu itself. The menu is varied. They have fish dinners, basically fried fish dinners. They also have like 2 other dinners. They have roasted chicken. They have obviously sandwiches, but one of their most famous products is the Butter Burger. And what gave the Butter Burger its name is that they lightly butter the crown of the bun before they grill it. And the burgers are actually fresh. They're never frozen. And also the other thing that they're famous for is the frozen custard. It's basically a premium type ice cream. It has more butter fat added to it, and it has egg yolks in it. Thus, the idea of calling it custard. But basically, that's my paper. I'm not really too happy with it as far as the source material. at the dearth of the information that I actually could find. Uh, but I did the best I could on it. Uh, well, I guess that's it for now. Thanks for listening.